Hey YouTube, Casey Classic 7 here, back again with another video. Got some NBA 2K19 here. My first NBA 2K19 video of the year. Very exciting time. And what better way to jump off my video season than to introduce a project that I have been working on the past few days, a fictional roster base. It's already My League ready, so you're able to jump into My League with these rosters today and utilize them. So this is only a base roster. The only reason why I created this roster was to have a roster for people to utilize while the actual fictional rosters were being completed on PS4. Shout out to Tim of the Hyatt, Sir Tim, Leo Allure, Tim the GOAT, whatever you want to call him, as well as Bebe32, Easy Madden. All three of these guys do rosters on the PS4. Easy Madden did rosters last year for NBA 2K18 fictional rosters, and he was on a bunch of roster projects during the 2K18 season, including the huge draft class project that they completed, him and a couple other guys. I'm sorry for the couple other guys, I don't know your names, but Easy Madden was the main guy that I was focused on. Tim of the Hyatt, he did rosters back in 2K16. He had an extremely detailed fictional roster back for 2K16. 2K17, I know he had a lot of stuff going on. 2K18, he wasn't really filling the creation suite, so he didn't finish those rosters. Have a huge confidence in him that he's going to finish rosters this year for 2K19. And shout out to Bebe32, he did the rosters for 2K17, had the main fictional rosters in 2K17, the only fictional roster, if I'm not mistaken, for 2K17. And also shout out to SimWorld. They do rosters on the Xbox side of things. Even though I haven't utilized the rosters, they always have a bunch of views on their posts, as well as just people posting within their threads. So I know that they do a good job over on the over on the Xbox One side of things, and they have been doing rosters for as long as I can remember, dating back all the way to the Xbox 360, if not longer. It would be crazy if they have been doing rosters for that long, but definitely since Xbox 360. And I want to give those four guys a specific shout out before I jump into this fictional roster base. So on my roster, here are some things that you can definitely look out for. I'm going to tell you guys both the positive and negatives of the roster, and again what you guys can look out for. So on this roster, every team, Philadelphia all the way up to the Washington Wizards, have 8 players on each team. On this roster, you will also find no free agents, and the reason why I made 8 players per roster as well as no free agents is because 2K is going to generically fill the rest of these players. Every player on this roster is a 2K generic player, or is a 2K generated player. I'm sorry, not a generic player, but a 2K generated player. And the reason why I just did 8 players per team is because 2K again is going to generate the rest of the players on each team, as well as generate the whole free agency pool. So it wouldn't have made sense in my mind to create all these players if 2K is going to already generate them just by inserting this roster into the My League. I was trying to put out the quickest fictional roster possible, and the one that was going to be the least amount of pressure on me. And again, this isn't the main fictional roster, so that's why I wasn't really pressing about the details and what the actual rosters look like, because again, this isn't the main roster people are going to use throughout the year. It's just a base roster. I might go more in depth into cleaning up the roster, but I'm gonna wait for Tim of the Hyatt and Bebe to complete their rosters. And if I'm not mistaken, they will be doing a collab project this year, which should be very exciting, because Bebe's roster was a spin-off of Tim's roster, so it should be cool to see them collabing this year. So Some other things that you could find in this roster are 2K generic faces. So you're going to have duplicate faces in this roster. Unfortunately, there will be no unique faces. However 2K generated the face, that's the face that they are going to have. You're going to find everyone with the same contract on this roster as well, contract and salary. So that's another downside. No badges on this roster as well, which can be looked at as a good and a bad. A good because whatever badges that the players earned throughout the My League, that's the actual badges that they earned. So if a player, for example, is able to earn Hall of Fame limitless range, they actually earn that badge throughout your My League, which is a pretty cool thing. So you'll have a dynamic My League. Other things that players will have are the play types. So every player has play types this year. This was something that wasn't in 2K18 last year. Players will have unique tendencies, signature skills, as well as hot zones. They also will have unique body health as well, so every player has their own specific body health, as well as accessories and shoes. So there are uniquenesses to every single player, but there are also some similarities to every single player. For example, every player will be a rookie on this roster, and they will be ranging on the specific base roster. They'll be ranging 20 to 21. So depending on month and day they were born on, that will determine how old the player is. So again, guys, this is just a base roster, so this isn't anything that really took a lot of time, that took a lot of effort. But again, I wanted to make sure that I put a base roster for those who are really interested in doing fictional rosters and in fictional rosters in general. I felt like this was the easiest way to put that out to the public in a quick and timely manner. So let me know what you guys think. This video will be on my Twitter. Definitely leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the roster. If this is something you guys are going to utilize, is this something that you guys even care about? I know a lot of people aren't really familiar or care about fictional rosters, but for those who do, you guys know how time consuming it is. It's a lot of work with a little payoff. So definitely want to give my shout outs to people who do rosters in general, but definitely people who do fictional rosters because of how time consuming it is. You guys have to understand that these guys are making players who are unique to the roster as well as to the guy who is using the roster. So it's a very, very difficult thing making fictional rosters. So again, guys, definitely let me know what you think about this roster. All the links will be in the description. And before I get out of here, let me show you how to find this roster. I know this video is running a little bit long, but if you are looking to find this roster, you can find it two ways. One being by searching by the online ID, other being by searching by the content name. I feel like personally it's easier to do it by the content name, but if you were going to do it by the online ID, there's my online ID, KC_Classic7807. And if you're going to do it by the content name, put in fictional, however you want to do it, and you will see the fictional roster base MYLRDY, My League Ready. So that's the roster right there for you. Surprisingly, 9 people has downloaded it to this time. Shout out to the 9 people who downloaded it. Definitely check out the roster if you're someone who's looking for a quick fix before Tim's roster is done. So that's all I have for you guys. We'll be back very soon with some more 2K19. That's it, boys and girls, men, women, children of all ages. KC Classic 7 signing out.